Hi, everyone. Welcome to our market update. My name is Vinnie.
I'm David Wright.
David Wright. Thank you for joining us. This is our market update. We do this every Monday and Friday. And if you've watched our market update, we have a consistent kind of theme going. Yet this week is maybe a little bit different with regards to interest rates, how they've been kind of fluctuating a little bit. And we'll go over the interest rates and what's going on there. We're going to dive a little deeper into one of the San Diego communities based off of one of the requests that we had from one of our watchers. So join us right now. David, why don't you take us away and talk to us about rates?
Rates this week are very similar. I had to throw it in there because rates this week are very similar to this on your teeth.
What does that mean?
That means terrible. So for those of you out there who didn't notice what happened this week with the stock market, with the news, with all the data that came out, interest rates literally increased 0.5%. You had a massively bad week for interest rates. Let's do a quick synopsis just to put it in focus. Prior to this Friday, if you went back 10 days ago, your average FHA VA was still 2.25, 2.125. That has moved up to like 2.6, 2.75. That's a massive increase. You look at everyone that was getting 30-year fixed at 2.6%, they're now 2.875, 2.99. You look at people who were getting loan amounts above 548 prior to this week, average rate 2.75, 2.875. A lot of those rates now are at 3.25. You have a massive increase this week. Jumbo rates, if you've been following our weekly updates, they've averaged 2.6 to 2.875. Try using the new website Google and look up jumbo rates and see how much higher they are. They're averaging now like 3.25. You had a massively bad week for mortgages. If you're purchasing a home and your mortgage broker did not call you this week, that's probably because they were hiding from the bombshells that were going off and they're hoping for the market to recover. I myself am hoping for the market to recover the following week because the data that came out this week was all bad. Your T-bills. T-bill is what's linked to mortgage rates. Those were up at 150. If they break 160, you will see rates go up again. So literally the last week in the mortgage market is a complete hemorrhage. And for those of you out there who are panicking going, is it the end of the world and rates going up? Well, hopefully, with the economy still being bad and pandemic claims being up 1 million this last week, which means more people are still filing for unemployment benefits and pandemic benefits, rates in theory should go down. But things in theory don't always work the way they're supposed to. I got to tell you, Vinny, I think the next couple weeks, the next 2 to 4 weeks, we are in a rocky road. And I don't mean the ice cream because I do like it. But what I do mean is a rocky road with rates. And for those of you who are looking at houses going, I'm going to get 2.5%, it's now going to cost you through the nose. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news. And overall, terrible week for rates. And I hope things recover. So sorry to be the bad news messenger.
Well, you got to think about it too. It's all relative. I mean, all relative. We're talking about historically low rates right now. When the last time we were talking about historically low rates was probably a couple years ago when we were saying they're in the 3s, right? So now that we're in the 2s at some places, yes, they've trickled up a little bit, but again, historically low rates. But focus again on that monthly payment. Now, like I said, when we first got going, we're going to focus on a certain sector of San Diego County. But also before we get into that, we're going to do a new thing that we're going to ask questions. We want to give back, see if you guys have the ability to make a little money. All right. So a $50 gift card. All right. A $50 gift card. All right. Now, here's the question. What is the only Major League Baseball team to hit 4 grand slams in 4 consecutive games? Now, you ask me, How do you win the $50 gift card? Text the
Woo!
answer right there. First one to do it will win that gift card right there. All right.
Wow.
Now I'm going to take down the screen. I'm going to leave the little scroll on the bottom just so you can see what's going on. But let's jump in to the San Diego. So what you're seeing right here, okay, is kind of South Bay. We did it south of the 54, kind of north of the 5, right? We broke it up to 3 different sectors. Okay, you have the left sector, the middle sector, and the right sector. Okay. Now, the left sector right there, it's kind of more older Chula Vista. You're not going to have Melrose, things like that. We have 25 currently active properties in that community, okay, with 63 pending. All right, now you're asking, okay, well, how much new inventory have we got in that market? We got 90 new properties in that market since January 1st. Now, how is that relative to the last couple of years? Well, last year, 113. The year before that, 131 new properties in that time frame. Sold properties, fairly consistent, right? You're talking about 69, 71, 75 properties in that same window, all right? And again, I got the numbers as of today for the last since January 1st. So usually what happens there, agents backdated. So I wouldn't be surprised if that number jumps from 69 up into the 70s. Okay, so we're talking about pretty consistent, okay, pretty consistent on the sold properties, but the active properties has changed a little bit. Now we talk about that mid sector. All right, that mid sector on the top of it gets a little bit of kind of National City area, right? Paradise Hills. And then the bottom part of it, you're going to have some Melrose and some of those areas right there. Gets a little bit newer. It's a little bit different, okay, than kind of the older Chula Vista, 805. Wanted to try to find some kind of way of separating, but there's a lot of different communities in this area. But to make it the easiest, 805 to the 125. 43 current properties on the market with 135 pending. 135 pending right now. Now, how does that new properties, 208, 227 the year before, 296 the year before that. Okay. Quite different right there. All right. The sold properties, again, pretty consistent over the last 3 years. All right. Now, we're talking about the right side of the 125. Now, in 2000, I mean, there's a lot of new builds, probably close to the Otay Ranch, East Lake Greens. I mean, there's a lot of newer communities there. So it does fluctuate a little bit on where the data is coming from. But to give you kind of a reference point, we're talking about 14 current properties on the market, 76 pending, right? 108 properties, 136, 168, and then sold properties, 81. Last year, that's a little bit different. They had a mix up in the MLS, I think, in that community. They were putting some of the new builds, and then 75 the year before. But as you can tell, active to pending properties, that's the best gauge of looking at all those different areas. And you can see we're talking about, I mean, about a week or so worth of inventory if most of those properties do sell.
And you know, Vinnie, with you mentioning the inventory like that, what I mentioned about rates earlier, this will also have an effect with the market because if rates continue to rise, all of a sudden you will see people panic and you will see people not start buying and you will probably see more listings come on the market. So the only good thing about the rates coming up is more people will probably start selling because they may think that this could be the beginning of the end because as rates get higher, buyers step back and get scared and go, oh, my payment's not the same. And then sellers look at it and go, wow, we're at the top of the market. Maybe I should get out now. So if these rates continue to rise, we may see more listings come on market, Vinnie.
And you have to move quick. You have to think that, right? There's so much pent-up demand right now of buying properties, right? So as maybe if the rates go up a little bit, you're going to get a little bit of that window, right? Instead of maybe 10 offers on your property, 20 offers on your property, 30 offers on your property, right? Maybe you only get, 5 offers, 10 offers, 12 offers, right? So you're going to lose some of those people right there, right? Yet you're still going to have a steady stream of potential buyers, right, for your property. Now, if the rates keep on going up, all you're doing is you're slowly getting more of that those buyers to leave the market right now. So get it while the getting is good if you think the rates are going to go up. I mean, I don't think it's going to drastically happen probably the next month or two, but I mean, it could happen summertime, close to that time. So start thinking about, if you're thinking about selling the next couple of years, you should really look at talking about what's possible today.
And with that,
thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Please text us your answer if you want a chance to win that $50.
I got 2 texts. I got one saying Detroit Tigers. Don't think that's a correct answer.
See you guys.
And I got one for the Marlins, and I don't think that's the correct answer either.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.